What is Second Temple literature? Second Temple literature refers to the Jewish writings that were produced during the Second Temple period, which lasted from the rebuilding of the Temple in Jerusalem in 516 BCE to its destruction by the Romans in 70 CE. This period is named after the Second Temple, which was built after the First Temple was destroyed by the Babylonians in 586 BCE. The Second Temple was a significant place of worship and a central focus of Jewish life, and it played a significant role in the development of Judaism and the Hebrew Bible. Second Temple literature includes a wide range of texts that reflect the beliefs and practices of the Jewish people during this time. These texts include religious texts, such as the Hebrew Bible and the Apocrypha, historical accounts, such as the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Septuagint, and other literature, such as the Mishnah and the Talmud. Second Temple literature is considered to be an important source for understanding the beliefs, practices, and history of the Jewish people during this time, and it continues to be studied and revered by Jews and Christians today. Some of the most significant Second Temple literature are the Hebrew Bible, also known as the Old Testament. The Hebrew Bible is the foundational text of Judaism and Christianity. It contains the Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible, the prophets, and the writings, which include historical accounts, legal codes, wisdom literature, and other texts that reflect the beliefs and practices of the ancient Israelites. The Septuagint. The Septuagint is a Greek translation of the Hebrew Bible that was produced in the 3rd and 2nd centuries BCE. It was widely used by the Jewish community in the Hellenistic world and is still considered an important source for understanding the original Hebrew text. The Dead Sea Scrolls. The Dead Sea Scrolls are a collection of Jewish texts that were discovered in the 1940s in the vicinity of the Dead Sea. The scrolls include fragments of the Hebrew Bible, as well as other religious texts, such as hymns, liturgical texts, and writings of the Essenes, a Jewish sect that lived in the region. The Apocrypha. The Apocrypha is a collection of Jewish texts that were written in the Second Temple period but are not included in the Hebrew Bible. The Apocrypha includes historical accounts, wisdom literature, and other texts that were considered to be of value to the Jewish community but were not considered to be inspired by God. The Mishnah. Compiled in the 2nd century CE, the Mishnah is a collection of Jewish oral law that includes interpretations of the Torah, as well as legal and ethical teachings. It serves as an important source for understanding the beliefs and practices of the Jewish people during the Second Temple period, and it is still considered an authoritative source of Jewish law, studied and revered by Jews today. The Talmud, comprised of the Mishnah and additional commentaries and interpretations. The Talmud is a collection of Jewish oral law and commentaries on the Hebrew Bible that was compiled in the 3rd to 5th centuries CE. It is considered a valuable resource for understanding the beliefs and practices of the Jewish people during the Second Temple period, and it is still considered an authoritative source of Jewish law, studied and revered by Jews today. The Book of Jubilees, written in the 2nd century BCE, the Book of Jubilees is a Jewish text that offers a retelling of the history of the world from a Jewish perspective, including additional laws and teachings not found in the Hebrew Bible. It serves as an important source for understanding the beliefs and practices of the Jewish people during the Second Temple period, and it continues to be studied and revered by some Jews and Christians today. Second Temple literature is important for the modern Christian faith and understanding the New Testament for a number of reasons. Here are a few. Historical context. Second Temple literature provides important historical context for the New Testament, which was written during the Second Temple period. By studying Second Temple literature, we can gain a better understanding of the social, political, and religious context in which the New Testament was written, and we can better understand the challenges and opportunities that the early Christians faced. Theological understanding. Second Temple literature helps us to better understand the beliefs and practices of the Jewish people during the time of Jesus, which in turn helps us to better understand the teachings of Jesus and the early church. For example, the Hebrew Bible, the Apocrypha, and the Dead Sea Scrolls contain teachings and stories that are referenced and interpreted in the New Testament. Cultural understanding. Second Temple literature helps us to better understand the culture and context of the early Christians, which can help us to better understand the New Testament and its message. For example, the Mishnah and the Talmud provide insight into the laws and customs of the Jewish people during the Second Temple period, which can help us to better understand the teachings of Jesus and the early church. Overall, Second Temple literature is an important resource for understanding the history, beliefs, and practices of the early church, and it continues to be studied and revered by Christians today.